It began with a quiet dinner. My wife of 8 years sat across from me, with a rare intensity in her eyes, a seriousness that didn't feel like her. I sensed a storm brewing. For months she had been detached, glued to her phone, working late, shrugging off every attempt I made to bridge the growing gap. But I wasn't ready for the words. She calmly laid on the table. "We need to talk," she said, setting her fork down carefully. "I can't keep living this way. Either you let me have more freedom, no questions, or we rethink this marriage." Her tone was cold, calculated, as if she expected me to plead or protest. But instead of panic, a strange sense of peace settled over me. I looked at Emma, the woman who once stood by me through so much, now delivering an ultimatum, like our vows were just suggestions. She didn't know I had already uncovered the truth. Those late nights weren't about work, and the space she wanted was already occupied by someone else. For weeks, I had been connecting the dots. The coworker she mentioned too often, the sudden weekend getaways, the subtle, distant way she looked at me. Friends had dropped hints, but I'd wanted to believe in her. That belief collapsed when I saw the open laptop one morning, filled with flirty messages to a man named Jason, plans that turned my stomach. Now, staring at her across the table, listening to her passive threat, I realized Emma assumed I would do anything to keep her. She thought I was so invested, so afraid of losing her, that I'd bend. But she didn't know. I had already made my decision. This marriage was over, and tonight I was taking back my pride. I gently laid my napkin down, locked eyes with her and said, "You're right. We need space. Let's start tonight." The confidence on her face cracked. "Wait, what are you saying?" she stammered. Not used to me agreeing so easily. I smiled, not out of anger, but relief. "I'm saying take all the space you need, Emma. You'll have the whole house by tomorrow. The divorce papers will be there by morning." Her expression faded into disbelief. She hadn't imagined this. Emma expected begging, bargaining, maybe tears. But what she got was a man who had reached his breaking point. Someone no longer willing to trade his dignity for a marriage that had already ended emotionally. For a moment she just sat there, mouth parted, searching for something to say. The sounds of clinking silverware and background chatter filled the gap where her certainty had once lived. "You're not serious," she whispered, voice trembling. I leaned in, voice calm. "I've never been more serious. I'm not mad, Emma. I'm just finished. You offered me a choice, and I'm taking it. You can live however you want, just not with me." She stared in disbelief, realizing her control had vanished. She thought she was in charge, but now she sat helpless, undone by a decision she thought she controlled. As we left the restaurant, Emma tried to regain her hold, throwing out justifications, soft apologies. "It's not what you think. Jason and I. It's nothing. I just felt stuck. I didn't mean." Her words rushed out, but none of them landed. I had already grieved this betrayal long before that meal. I didn't need reasons, because betrayal isn't just one action. It's a series of decisions, and Emma had made hers. I wished her the best, honestly, but I wouldn't remain in a relationship where my loyalty was used as leverage. That night I packed what I needed, walked out the door, and never turned back. The days that followed were a blur of court documents, emotional texts from Emma, and shocked reactions from mutual friends. "I can't believe you left," one of them said. But that's the mistake people make, confusing patience for weakness. Even patience breaks, and once it does, there's no patching it. Emma's public image crumbled. Jason had no interest in a real relationship. Once the secrecy ended, so did the thrill. She found herself alone, trying to fix what she'd broken. But I was no longer part of that story. I didn't walk away out of revenge. I did it because peace mattered more than pretending. Months later, an email from Emma arrived. It wasn't to ask me back. It was an admission. She said she misjudged me, believing I'd fold like before. She confessed the affair was empty. That guilt had hollowed her, and she respected how I walked away with my head held high. I felt no hate, only resolution. Her realization came too late. I had already moved on. Not bitter but clear-headed. Because love doesn't survive ultimatums. Real love is built on respect, not power. Emma gambled that respect for control and lost. Today, when I'm asked how I found the courage to leave, I say this: there's strength in silence. There's power in not reacting the way they expect. Emma's challenge was meant to corner me. Instead, it freed me. I didn't scream. I didn't argue. I just chose me. In the end, the loudest statement was peace. And Emma taught me something valuable. Boundaries aren't negotiable. Self-respect isn't for sale. Her ultimatum tried to cage me, but my answer set us both free. And that's why she sat frozen while I walked away.